Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is inspired by and dedicated to my bestie, Rebecca. We were having a very fun discussion the other day about how sometimes if you look beyond the surface, people turn out to be better than you had initially thought, and we were just joking around, and then I made this parfait has layers, onions have layers, ogres have layers joke, and she was very amused by it. And in light of that, I have decided to create an onion video as well as tackle something that I've feared for a very long time: deep frying. Let me just say first and foremost that I am terrified of deep frying. I have been terrified of it since the very beginning because in my family we don't deep fry food. This is due to my mom being a very strict steamed and stir-fried food person. So she didn't like cleaning up after the mess of deep frying, which makes sense, I suppose, and we grew up generally just enjoying foods that were steamed or cooked very healthily. So I was very bad at deep frying immediately upon moving out to live by myself, and I never actually got into the hang of it. So this seemed like something interesting to tackle because Rebecca gives me much strength to do things that I'm terrified of. And so this sort of is a recipe that is twofold dedicated to her because she taught me how to see the best in people as well as how to grab myself by the marbles and do what I fear the most. So in light of that, today's recipe is blooming onion. Let's see how that's done. I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you that a blooming onion starts with an onion, but here we are on fat Vidalia onion, whose head you're going to slice off and peel. You're gonna trim the root, but be careful not to cut too deep or the onion will fall apart. Core the onion from the cut side up. Then turn the onion around so that the root side is facing you. Cut 4 slits into the onion and then add 2 more slits in between the quarters. Again, you're going to be very careful while you're doing this so you don't break your onion apart, unlike me. Once you invert that, you should have a gorgeous little lotus flower. Next up, we're going to prep the flour. Add some cayenne pepper powder into your flour. Then add some dried thyme as well as dried oregano. In a separate bowl, crack an egg and whisk. Now you're gonna carefully pick up your onion flour, put it into the egg, coat it, and bring it to the flour and coat it as well. You're gonna want to gently peel back the layers to reveal the petals. Make sure you get lots of flour into the nooks and crannies. Now it's time for a second coat. You're gonna return the onion to your egg wash. At this point, it's gonna get pretty messy and you're gonna be crying for Jesus. Don't stop, keep going, coat it with the flour, making sure to get the flour into every tiny nook and cranny. We're almost there, so don't cry. Refrigerate the onion while you get some oil on. When the oil is hot, and you'll know it's hot when a chopstick inserted starts to bubble, put the onion in. Use those same chopsticks to separate the petals. Check the onion to see if it gets golden brown, and when it does, flip it. You do this so that the tips cook as well. Once that's done, we're going to remove it to a plate. And then we're going to make the dipping sauce, which pretty much just starts off with some mayonnaise, wasabi, some lemon juice, ketchup, pepper, and salt to taste. Stir that all up. And then serve. So I gotta say that unfortunately didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to. I could have stood to cook it longer, and those of you who are sharp-eyed will probably realize that halfway through I decided to swap onions because my first one fell apart. I cut too deep. Not to worry though, that is now in the fridge waiting to be made into veggie stock. So as much as I tried to coat every last bit of the onion with the egg and flour mixture, there were patches that were sadly uncoated and therefore unbattered, and therefore turned out not so great. In an attempt to fix that, maybe in the future if I ever try to attempt this again, I might actually look into trying this with something similar to like a tempura batter. The way I see it, vegetable tempura pretty much feels like fried onion, and it always has that gorgeous crisp texture. So I might try this again because I hate being bad at things. So if I do, I will let y'all know how that goes. Hopefully I do better than I did this time around. The recipe that I looked up actually had a dipping sauce that incorporated sour cream as well, but I didn't really feel like going too much to the extreme of like cream on cream on cream. So what I did instead was to add in a little bit of lemon juice, and that I felt helped to temper the richness of the mayonnaise, and then, you know, with the wasabi and all, there's like a little bit of spice and it really adds the flavor. There were also other things that were used in the recipe. I believe Worcester sauce was actually in it. I forgot. The dipping sauce still, regardless, tasted good, and I don't feel too badly about it because this is the first time I'm making this recipe, and you know, there is definitely room for improvement, but I had a good time eating it and I think it was fairly delicious. If you tried a recipe similar to this and ended up with the same mushy onion issue, let me know in the comments if you managed to fix it, or let me know in the comments if you are a blooming onion connoisseur and know how I can make this better. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had a good time watching me take a first step in conquering one of my greatest fears in the kitchen. I hopefully will be able to do it better the next time I try. If you haven't already, click subscribe and make my day. Don't forget to comment also with what you'd like me to cook next, and click on the bell button so that you'll be the first to know whenever I upload a new video. Until next time, stay safe and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!